director. Did my shit, like I ran from the plane to there, like I have no, whatever, so I'm there, I stepped right on, I'm doing the audition. I just walked right in, no rest, nothing, no way to even go through the lines myself.
Yeah. So what you're saying to me is you were unprepared.
Completely unprepared.
Okay.
So I'm on and then I go through the thing, and like, it's not too bad, like I kind of messed up, and even on my mind when I messed up, it's like, all right, I'll nail it the next time, no big deal, right? And then so she turns over to him afterwards, and like, okay, she's the one that really wanted me to, we gonna do that again? And he just like stone faced. Okay, things are coming out.
This is great. You did well. We will be in touch. Can we move this?
I think these are the same mic set.
Oh, they got it?
Yeah.
I got hooked up. So my dad's in the industry. My dad does news here, so he just accessed all these mics. And so I told him to
Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, it's my dad. Yeah, crazy.
Now you know I would bang that guy. He's handsome as fuck.
He's sexy.
Don't you think?
Remember The Mole? Did y'all ever watch The Mole? He was the host of No One Watched It.
Come on.
Good. It's a really shitty reality show.
It's, yeah. It's an
He's good.
You never wanted to follow that?
I don't know if that'd be cute.
Really? I mean, I guess I'm like following it like a weird way, like this, you know? It's funny though, my dad just shits on radio all the time.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just like...
Even this?
No, not this.
Even this.
I mean, he had a talk show.
It's kind of dad, right?
Yeah, it's just the thing. It's like,
and it's
when was the last time you turned on the radio?
Here's an old shitty template that we're just gonna, yeah.
Yeah, like
One
one
of
of
those
the
old people now. I'm sorry, but
I mean, yeah, especially he's AM radio.
I grew up with it.
Yeah, you get to a point though, he's been doing it for so long. I mean, he's 63 now. He's been doing it for so long, it's like, for him, it's just what he loves to do, and so he figures just keep doing it. You know?
Right.
I live in a, like kind of an old, like retirement part of the community.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's really weird to me.
Anyway.
So he moves into a retirement community and all the neighbors come out and they're like, hey, so you're moving here? And then he's like, yeah, just bought the house, moving in here. And he's like, they're like, well, we're kind of a quiet neighborhood, you know, like we're not like, he's like, yeah. They're like, why? And they're just looking, they're like, you sure? You're like, we don't like noise and stuff around here. He's like, yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So I get a free newspaper there. I get a free newspaper like every day.
Newspaper? You get shuttle service to the cafeteria?
Yeah, but I read the newspaper like once every 2 weeks. It's just like it goes in the recycle right
That's
away.
true. Like I haven't read a newspaper because I read it like El Chapo got caught today.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, good.
El Chapo got caught today.
Can you hear me okay? Am I speaking close enough and all that?
Good.
Okay.
Give me 1-2.
1, 2.
I mean, that's fine.
All right, good.
Just
El Chapo got caught today?
El Chapo, but they tweeted about it. That's up on Mexico.
Is it El Chapo or El Chapo?
El Chapo.
Shoddy, right?
You gotta check with your available Mexican.
CH.
How long is he going to be in captive this time?
Probably for good this time.
I want to know how nice this place is.
I bet it's real nice.
I bet he's
They
got good accommodations.
didn't give any details yet on how he got caught.
4-star prison,
I
probably.
bet it's real nice.
Maybe 5-star, depending on the food.
And location.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Certain parts of Mexico,
Hey.
they only go to 4-star. But I imagine they got to get like one of those bins, like they would put the Hulk in or something, just glass all around so they can
Who
walk.
wants to keep it? You want that guy free though. That's capital. That's like, you know, when you look at like the Forbes list and all that stuff, and you think about all those guys, and you look at like you watch about the Colombian cartels and all that kind of stuff. Those guys and Arab oil barons, they far exceed the Forbes list.
You talk about like Dubai guys.
Like Trump's money, you're not fucking with El Chapo. Like that's like, you don't have anything comparatively.
Yeah.
It's amazing, really, when you think about what real money is, and those guys got real money. So they want that money loose. They don't want him locked up. They want to keep him kind of free, you know?
Except for that's American money going south.
Right, yeah. You know, that's the biggest gross national product of Mexico is not gross national product, but the biggest commerce they have is American dollars going back into Mexico. For people that are working here to send money back to their families and stuff.
Oh, that makes sense actually. And cocaine. Yeah. Oh shit. No, I'd give him 2 months and then he's out again.
If he wants to.
He's the one that's
I feel like he's
Is
he in Mexico? Is that where he's from?
Yeah, well that's what they found him, like they got close to him a little bit ago and then he like broke his leg or something. And the president tweeted today, got him. Which, if the president's tweeting and that's how you get
That's a
news,
dead guy.
That's it. Yeah.
Go ahead and tweet and make fun. Oh, really? I'll remember that motherfucker. I think we have kind of it's a topsy-turvy government. You might not last. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't
Talk
think
about
you
the money that government's working off.
talk shit to El Chapo.
I also read though that as of like 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago or something, his like reach just beat Pablo Escobar. So he's officially the biggest drug lord of all time.
That's awesome.
That's
Good
kind
for
of
him.
badass, right?
Congratulations, El Chapo. Right on. Good for you, dude.
I was
That's
just thinking like
goals. Hashtag goals.
beating El Chapo. You got
Chapo money.
We're a little behind. I feel
Yeah.
like he started way before us.
It's good
That
though.
dude should do a reality show, man.
They just someone optioned the movie rights not too long ago.
I won't say reality show. I want the camera following that guy around.
Okay, so can you imagine how badass that would be if he's on the run from the cops and still really
shitty.
shitty?
He'd make sure that he had his best like velour shirt on and shit. And like, it'd be
good.
bad, yeah.
Oh my god. It's like one of those like
1970s
oil guys do the same
wars
shit.
and
They got guns and
jumpsuits.
stuff with just money and hookers and all this stuff and Instagram. They don't give a fuck.
No.
Why would they? They just own everything.
And it's really no different than an American congressman. Those guys are just more blatant about it, and the congressmen keep it in a strip bar.
Yeah. I was
If
thinking
you're
like
a
this.
congressman's wife out there, God bless you, but that dick is all over town. You know that.
I would say everywhere in DC.
Or wherever.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Well-
If you're in a political structure and you're above America,
They know it though. They don't give a fuck.
you're full of cocaine, boys, and hookers.
You think they care? They're getting 200 grand a month, go to Georgetown and shop around.
So good.
Oh my god, that's the trade they make.
You know Keith's, Keith's retirement village they live in is, he
Congressman's wives.
he got robbed there.
Are you serious?
This is a great story. Yeah, he first of all, you're in a retirement village, so if you're trolling for shit, you're like, this would be a great place to rob. I'm gonna be safe.
I won everyone.
So I was sitting there on my computer, working on the computer one morning, and I see a car roll up, and I kind of look out the window. I can see out the window, somebody's here, but it was like I didn't recognize the car. And he pulled up right next to my mailbox, gets up, goes, pulls all the stuff out of my mail, puts it in his car, and takes off. Oh god, oh shit. So like I'm in my underwear basically, I'm running around the house looking for pants and shoes. So
Go ahead and Google right now if you're listening, Keith Jardine underwear.
So it took me about like a couple of ways. It seemed way too long. I find these like dress shoes. I put some dress shoes on. I jump in my Bronco. My Bronco wouldn't start. I go get on the hood. I fix the battery. I jump in. This all happened in like 2 minutes, and I chase after him. And where I live, there's only one way in or one way out. And there's we call it the moat. And it's kind of big. So I'm racing down the moat to cut this guy off. So I'm sure he's gonna go to other houses before he's done.
That's like the title of the story.
One way in, one way out. So Keith Jardine retirement story.
So I go and I see him. I think that's a car. It's like a Monte Carlo type car or something like that. I think that's it. And he turns right. And so I turn right and follow him. I'll go up right next to him and I look. Oh my God, that's him, right? And so I tell him to pull over. He speeds up.
What's this guy looking like? Is this like a 98-year-old dude?
No. He's just like a middle-aged kind of guy. You know, he ended up being a little chubby. And so I sped up at the block, and I slammed my Bronco right in front of him, right into the curb. And so
Now this Bronco, it's got like, it's all black with ghosted tap out and stuff around it, jacked up, like an old, I don't know what year it is, but like a real old muscle Bronco, like it's formidable.
Like the old like O.J. Simpson.
It's like maybe ISIS wishes they were driving that right now, you know?
So I jump out, and as I'm coming around the back, I see that his window's down, and that was my first thought, because if he had a gun or something, then like with that separation, that would be bad news.
Yeah.
So then I veer down toward the back window, and I come up and I grab a hold of his neck.
Now this goes right back to Keith's number one fight help, which would be what's fighting about. It's all about distance and angles.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Day one training.
I forgot exactly what happened now. I'm talking about this all the time, but I grab him by his clothes, and I go there, and he's fighting. He's trying to pull away, and what are you doing? And then the moment, and I love this. You see in life, there's being a bouncer. Tait knows all about this. Like people, we have this animal instinct, and he knew the second like I was about to hit him. Like it just switched. Like Like, all right, he's pulling away. And the second I thought that, like, he just like went like Jello.
It's about to get super real. So that just goes to, we're all connected.
Yeah.
We have a unity, all of us. And that guy knew he was about to get cut out like cancer.
You feel that?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually.
So I got to finish the funny. So anyway, I pull the door out and I pull him down, and I pull him out of the car and I put him down, and I go like, I got like a neon stomach kind of position and all that, and I pull the phone out of my back pocket. This is what Jody, my fiance, makes fun of me for. Like who do I call? Like I call 911, I call the police or whatever. I call my good buddy and ex-fight manager, John. Hey John, I got this guy. He's on my bill. I got him on right now. Yeah, he's on the ground right now.
John's always, he's like the guy. He's seen a lot of stuff, and he's kind of a connected dude. And he'd be the guy that you would call that would be like, here's good, cool-headed decisions. Here's the next way to proceed. That's a great call, man. It's a great number to have in your pocket.
I think if you had to call the cops, you're in trouble. Like you got some explaining to do. I guess he robbed you.
Nah, yeah, the first guy that showed up, he knew who I was. Actually, he was leaving the area or something, and so he came up quick, and he was really nice.
That's hysterical. I probably, though, you have those friends you call before anything, though.
So here's a sad story about that. Like, nothing ever happens over there. No, really. Like, a couple weeks ago, some guy was robbing that guy.
What is with the robbery in your retirement?
Exactly, and some guy walked
Called
out.
Albuquerque.
Some guy walked out. Anyway, like he got stabbed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
There's a dude in Santa Fe 2 days ago. He robbed a pawn shop, and the pawn guy came out behind him and shot him and dropped him, and then went up to him in the parking lot, got the rings and stuff that the guy stole at the pawn shop, and then went back to his store. And then the cop that came up told me the story. He says, yeah, he shot him through the back of the heel, and the bullet lodged in the ball of his foot, which sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And I go, do you arrest a guy like that? You hook him up and all? He goes, oh yeah, it's aggravated battery and all that. I go, what? That's not all right. He's like, no. He says it's not all right. I said, it should be. Like, he robbed him, right? He's like, maybe if he was in the store still, but from the back and everything, like there's no imminent danger to him. And I said, still, the guy robbed you. Maybe you should at least, if you're the robber, expect that. He goes, we're more New Testament than Old Testament these days.
That is weird. You can't. If someone's running, shooting is aggressive. Yeah. But if he wasn't shooting to kill,
right?
Clearly he wasn't.
I have another one of my homeboys. He was a Houston guy, and he's in Dallas now. Great dude, and he was with his girlfriend, and they were leaving a club, and they were getting harassed by like 6 guys. And one of the dudes was like an orthodontist, who was the shittiest of the dudes, and. My buddy got his girlfriend in the car, and then he got in the car, and the guys are surrounding the car, and so he drives over a guy, which would be fine until he backed up over him again to
I like how you say which would be fine. He ran over.
And they're like, after you're out of danger, now you do 6 years.
Oh my god.
So be careful, kids.
Don't back up over people you just run over.
Yeah, you want to keep going over. You don't want to stay forward. You don't want to get in the rearview mirror in life in any way.
They're still in your house, then whatever.
If they're still in the house, you dump them, make sure they're
Can you shoot someone in your house?
Yes.
Is that allowed?
In some
Most states.
Yeah.
For sure, Texas, New Mexico, Florida, for sure.
Florida, you can just shoot people, it's fine.
Yeah, depending on your hue.
Yeah.
What was the security area?
Depending on how much pigment we're
Yeah,
working with.
fuck, let's be real, in any state, depending on your hue.
The melanin level is really going to be a factor.
Motherfuckers.
Actually, one of my good family friends just developed the camera for cops that they're all going to wear, the body vest cameras. And he said already the stuff they're seeing is just crazy.
Well, they had those for a while, I think, and then they rescinded them because the cops couldn't do their jobs anymore. There were so many that were questionable videos that were coming up that they were like, we got to turn the cameras off.
Yeah. Well, it's such a weird line.
It's crazy, we ask these guys, it's like being in the Army, I think. You ask these young kids that are poor decision makers anyway, 19, 20 years old or something, here you are in a horrific position, and now here's some horrible situations that come up, and we're going to want you to make the right decision. It's like,
and by the way, here's a gun.
It's an impossible task.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be culpable for what your actions are when there's no good answers here.
Yeah.
So go ahead, and depending on public opinion, we're either going to chastise you or we'll herald you. And I think police are in the same way. You're asking people, it's not black and white. There's a lot of judgment that has to happen there. And so to me, it speaks to training. It speaks to like the wellness, the psychological wellness of the people that are there, and like, and as a task force, as a community, like putting that out there and helping those guys, because those guys are in an impossible position.
Well, yeah, you think about like, even with like work and stuff, all the stuff, I'm like, fuck, I messed that up, I made the wrong decision, but there's no real problems with that. Like, whatever, we move on, right? But if you're a cop and you're like, fuck, I made the wrong decision here, shit, something like that, now you're liable, and it's...
I almost think too in different areas, like if you're an LA cop, I remember when I was a little kid and I was like, it seems like shit's hotter over there than it is in Michigan, or whatever.
Where'd you go to Michigan?
I grew up on the shore of Lake Huron in a town called Alpena, and then I lived in Lansing for a while. And then I moved to New Mexico when I was like 19, 20, something like that.
You've been around.
Yeah. And then, but I thought, man, they should switch out, because it's a battle zone that you're in. You're in South Central, like you're in a battle zone, and they should switch those guys with cops in Iowa every 6 months or something. Give them a little downtime, And then I didn't really think that logistically and families and all that wouldn't work well. But you look at that now, but there should be, maybe you should have a discussion about early retirement. If you're a cop that is in a war-torn area of a city, if you're in downtown Chicago, if you're in Los Angeles, maybe there's a different conversation there about like retire those guys at 12 years or something like that, because that is a horribly long time to be in that service, and you can't really be out of it. I think about it like fighting. It's like, or selling dope or anything that's been in life where it's like, it takes you to be like up and high and on it. You can't get out of that mind state and then go back in and be safe anymore. Once you've decided like, ooh, I'm relaxed, fucking that sinks in, and now you're a different kind of person. You need to keep that predation and that kind of energy, I think. And once you relinquish it, you become a different man. And I don't think that you're as vital, and I think that you're more prone to make mistakes in that area.
Yeah, I think
it seems
also
like, I don't know, that's just a theory, but.
Well, I agree with you, because I think that, like, for some reason with cops, we still think of that as like a lesser job. Like you're going through less pressure than you would in the Army or something. But these guys, I mean, think about it, 20-year cops and stuff, they're running into bad guys all the time. And for some reason, we don't think of it like that.
Right. Every time you pull somebody over, man, that guy's got a gun, he's got...
Oh my God.
Get called to a domestic violence charge.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I mean, every single day they wake up and they go do this. And we don't think of it like that, because I think it's because we're just around it all the time.
So how hard do you get when you do that?
Exactly. And then finally one kid's just like, you know what, fuck you, man. And you've done this for 40 years. And you're just like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Well, if you're not focused on the good too, like whatever anybody does, you have to feel value. You have to feel like it matters, right? And the truth is that it all matters. But if you focus on like the bad parts of it, it can easily seem like nothing matters, and like that it's pointless, and that there's no fruit at the end of this. And like, if that's the kind of construct that the company that you work for or whatever your peers are in, then you get lax. You get like.
Well, think about it with any job, like teachers, and once they hit tenure, they're done. So it's like any job, and like you said, when you're dealing with all this pressure all the time. I mean, PTSD happens, and you don't have to go to Baghdad to have it happen to you.
No, you can grow up in the wrong house.
Yeah. I mean, look at dogs and stuff that every time you go near them, they shudder and things like that.
We have a real good close friend, Tait and I, that is a cop, and he does have PTSD, and that guy, like, he doesn't sleep and whatever. Like, he was like high speed cop, like he would win awards, most arrests, this kind of stuff. And like this guy telling me about I was sleeping with him one night in a hotel room for a fight, and like I woke up, like, this is funny, like Tait does this too, like you get those night kind of like feeling like the weird feeling someone's in the room, and like shoot, you just jump out of bed like you're ready to handle something, right?
Yeah.
So he's in the cot, Greg Jackson's right next to me, I'm sleeping in the bed, and I feel like somebody's in the room, so I just jumped right out of bed, and I'm standing there. And Chris, because he doesn't sleep, and he's got his cop thing going on, he's all, right, like 1 second later, he's all, Keith, it's okay, man, it's okay. And he's just, calm down. It's like, oh, all right, I'm going, and I was still asleep, all right, I'm going back to sleep.
He's a powerful guy.
This guy's a powerful guy, and he's always on alert, man, and he never rests.
And he never doesn't smile.
Yeah.
I've never, like, he's a big smile. It's weird, because I always thought he was like maybe like 6'5" and 280 pounds and like built like a fucking, like a monster, right? Yeah. But it wasn't until like years, I'd known him years, and I was like, wow, he's 5'8",
Yeah.
150 pounds. But he's maybe the most terrifying guy I know. Like he's like he's and he never and I just give me no reason to think that. It's just like he's so about himself, and his presence is powerful.
And incredibly smart. But back to what I was talking about, like we hear stories about like the stuff he deals with every day, like dealing with somebody torturing animals, torturing his girlfriend, like every day, like you're seeing the worst of all human society, man. And how does that not make you jaded?
Yeah, well, even just the shit, like you're walking down the street and someone, fuck you, pig. And like, you're like, I'm just walking down the street, you know, like.
It's weird too, the way they choose. You know, Joey, he, like, a friend of ours that was a teammate, he tried out for the police and he went through all the stuff, and he's another guy, smiley, nice. He's one of the kindest dudes I ever met. Like, he's like a A+ human, right?
Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey, and really like became a father figure to everybody. Like he's like, all right, you know, like he's a special guy. Anyway, and he goes through all the training, he does well in all of it, and he goes through the psychological training, and at the end of it, they go, yeah, we can't take you. You're gonna fail this part. And he goes, why? And they said, based on your history as a professional athlete, as a fighter. And so he's got a bunch of fights, and like he's highly acclaimed, one of the best fighters in the world. And they said, I think it had to be because if something came up later, the public, whomever, could say, well, this guy was aggressive, and you knew that when you hired him because he used to be a fighter, or something like that. And so they nixed him. Whereas, where I think about it, that's the best guy. That's a guy that knows how to handle pressure and situations. You can't teach what he knows to a cop that's new, that's coming in. And he was 35 years old or something trying to do it. So he's already measured and judicious and has good judgment.
Yeah, so they think of it as like an
but
animal.
They don't take that guy. Yeah, they don't take that guy.
I think about that like
it's a trip.
Like with even like that level of pressure, like with auditions and stuff. You guys must feel I don't want to say feel nothing, but like it's got to be more manageable. Because you dealt with that pressure, or are you still like walking in like?
It's weird. Like I always felt like I'd get surprised, because, you know, like if you're gonna go on, it's like, okay, this character is gonna walk up and you're gonna say, "Fuck you, you wetback motherfucker," and stab him in the neck, and like, you know, that's and that happened to me once, and I walk in the room and there's two people in a room, and it's a room that's not a prison cell. It's carpeted with drywall and wallpaper and a couple sofa loungers and old lady sitting in the corner that's watching her computer, and another old lady that is recording you, and then a third that you're gonna yell at, "Fuck you, you fucking wetback, I'm gonna fucking stab you," and you're yelling at your grandma.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's all that stuff. I think it's just like anything else. You gotta put in enough reps to get comfortable with whatever it is, and repetition brings faith.
Yeah.
You know, if you put enough work in, you get faith that whatever that task is, or that it's going to be okay, that it's going to work out. And then I think for me, after a while, the whole process was a friend of mine, a good friend of both of ours, Darren Prescott. He said, "Tait, they don't know what they're looking for either."
Oh, no.
Directors, casting agents less than director. I mean, they just are trying to throw stuff at the wall and hope the director likes something, right? And the director doesn't really know either. So just show them you, because that's the only thing you've got to give anyway.
Have you heard the story about how Dustin Hoffman got The Graduate?
No.
All right, so the official call, you've seen The Graduate. All right, so the official call for The Graduate was like a Harvard jock, like 6'5",
Wow.
225 person. And the casting director had auditioned Dustin Hoffman, who at the time was nobody, for like a Broadway show or something, and loved him, but he wasn't right for that part. And then he was like, "Look, let me bring this guy in." And the director was like, no. He's like 5'8", whatever. No, we're not bringing him. He's like, just let me bring this guy in. Brought him in, and they're like, oh, this is the guy. This is who we want. And I didn't even realize.
They don't know till they see it.
Yeah.
You know? So just show them you, and that's it.
How many casting directors? That's the thing that Tait and I talk about all the time. Is going to be willing to take that chance to bring in somebody that's not perfect like description for that role.
I think if you're just cool and if you're just a cool person, cool people will help you out.
Yeah,
it's like
sometimes, but that's somebody's job, the cast, and so then they're scared that it comes down the line. The director's like, okay, so for the priest, why did you give me the barbarian? You know what I mean? And so it's like, and that's what their prejudice is already in their mind. They're like, I want this to fit this template. So we're mercenaries or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, that will be the thing to get the shot to go, okay, I'm gonna, play whatever. Some like, you can be the science teacher as well, or whatever the other thing is.
Yeah.
And it's like getting outside of that. But, people are like, are you worried about being typecast or this? I'm like, man, I'm just happy to get invited to the party. You know what I mean? Thanks.
Yeah.
But it's weird, like in this field and any field, people just decide this is what this looks like. This is where you are,
But they also decide this is what the industry is, right?
Yeah.
And is that true? So you got to ask yourself what everything is. It's like right now, like we just put out a tweet yesterday. I think probably Steven did, and he said there's now 93 locations in the United States to buy Caveman Coffee, Nitro Cold or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then a dude right after that is like, and he puts up a listing page on cavemancoffee.com, like where you can find where they are. He's like, what about New Jersey? Is there one in New Jersey? He's like, how about you have a little bit of fucking gumption and look, jackass. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't want dumb customers, so go ahead and be a little bit self-sufficient.
Yeah.
At any rate, or make, people are like, you should make one here. And I'm like, and my whole thing is, you should make one there. Get empowered, take hold of your life. And so the same thing about, I hear a lot, especially in the film industry, about whining about, I didn't get this or I can't get that. And like, there is all of that stuff. But the real conversation is, why aren't you making your own?
Yeah.
Right. Because you can bitch about not getting cast in a Quentin Tarantino movie, but also he was working at a Video Max selling fucking VCR tapes or renting them out to people while he's writing Pulp Fiction, while he's making Reservoir Dogs. So eat a bag of dicks. There's no fucking victims.
I had
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that becomes the thing. Is like, how empowered do I want to be? How much do I really want to grasp life?
I think it's like, for some reason we've lost a little bit of that like entrepreneurial spirit, because we've gotten into this area where it's like, it's not like, it's looked down upon to work towards your own dream in some ways, and to work, it's more respectable to work for another person.
I think people get the idea of humility mixed up too.
What do you mean?
They get a strange view about humility and arrogance and what that looks like, and as if I think it's really vital. I think all of my life that's good, and it comes from from being helpful and building systems that are helping other people. But at the same time, it's like, if I don't take care of myself, there's nothing to give. There's nothing to look towards. And so as I walk down the path of life further, I think that the thing is to always be emboldening myself and taking care of myself in that way. And whether that's just like you don't get sick as much, or like that you're growing intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, physically. If I don't take care of myself, there's really literally nothing to give. And I think that's becoming more and more clear to me, but I think that it gets mixed up a lot. People get in a thing where they don't want to talk about how good they are. They don't want to talk about like their own greatness. And to not do that, it's very difficult. It's the one thing I think about, like in mixed martial arts especially. I really admire some of these guys that are like, that feel they're the best in the world. Even though maybe there's numbers that are out there that would say, no, you're not. You know what I mean? But yeah, Conor, okay, Conor McGregor is a great example. I was so rooting for Jose Aldo to win completely, 100%. That's a guy that deserves it, that's been there, that's humble, that works well, and everybody's like, oh, that's a good champion because he's humble. That's not what a champion is. It's not about it's not the measure of your character. It's fucking your hammers. It's like how'd you perform out there?
Yeah.
And this fight, like if Conor goes up in weight to 155, I'm rooting for Conor simply because that is the dream. What he epitomizes is the audacity of championships, of kind of what you need. He believed his strongest asset isn't his left hook. It's that he fucking believes
in himself, yeah.
And he reminds me of a Diego Sanchez back in the day. And his time is coming, and timing plays a huge part in this. And his time is right for this right now. And I hope that train goes for a little bit longer, I don't know. How do you feel?
I'm more of a Robbie Lawler fan. Guy's real humble. Guy's a killer. Guy, if he was in this room,
he's also been in the game forever.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the longest running athletes that's still active.
He's a pretty tough guy. Like you always hear, the pretty tough guys, the close tough guys. If you were fighting before the Ultimate Fighter,
right?
There's a difference between if you were fighting after the fame of the Ultimate Fighter came out. People like
it's almost like Jeremy Horn era.
Jeremy Horn, and people like him were fighting just because they were, you know, they read too many samurai books, the warrior way and all that. They went and they just wanted to be a fighter. Something in them made them want to be a fighter. It wasn't the chance. It wasn't to be a star, be a fighting superstar. They weren't looking at Michael Jordan say, I want to play basketball, I want to play in the NBA. Like, that's what people are looking at John Jones right now and say, look, I want to make $1 million fighting and want everybody to know. And people were just fighting in front of 100 people, 200 people for a couple $100 because they wanted to see what it was like to fight and test themselves. And Robbie Lawler's one of those guys. Carlos Condit is one of those guys. Like, and I love the old generation. I love that. And I hope that there's new guys coming up. See, now they're so saturated. There's so many weight classes. There's so many fights. There's so many events. You got to make noise like Conor and McGregor for people to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I think Chael Sonnen started that. He was just like some boring white dude that nobody cared about until he started to be really smart.
I mean, the same.
He taught people. He taught guys like Conor.
I
He was a guy
where
that
did
doesn't
you learn
get
that
enough
from
thanks.
boxing? I mean, the same formulas worked for boxing, like Ali.
I think they learned it from
Tyson,
WWE a lot too.
Also,
Yeah, probably Ali mostly.
You know, I mean, it's like honestly, guys like Conor and they've been so good for the sport because in the last 5 years, you know, I mean, when the UFC started, 95?
94, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the blow-ups come from people like Ronda and like Conor,
Right.
just people who are so loud and
I like the guys like George though. The guys like George, just real humble.
But it takes one to make the other
you need balance. You need the
noticeable,
light and
even,
the
right?
dark, yeah.
It's like what you know, if you juxtapose the careers of Ronda and Holly, say,
Yeah.
and Holly were first and were a long-running champion, would women's MMA be as big, noticeable, or anything? Nah, it wouldn't be. Because Holly's super nice and quiet. There's no news around that. Nobody reports that kind of news.
Yeah.
We're a fucked up country in that way, and people like to see the train wreck. They want to see somebody bleeding on the side of the road, and they'll stop to watch that. They're not going to stop to watch somebody that's trying to juggle their groceries and help their daughter get into a fucking car, but they'll stop to watch somebody beat the fuck out of somebody else. I think Ronda is so loud that she fucking amped the game up and she brought it. You know, there's evolution that's happening right now. Conor also, he's evolving athletes to come in a way that like a quiet, humble champion would, you know, and it needs both sides of it, I think, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Did they just announce that Miesha Tate's going to fight Holly? That's for sure?
Yeah.
Is that for sure? Okay.
That's great.
Well, I had heard initially that they were going to give the Holly Ronda like their next
Yeah,
right away.
I was bummed about that.
Me too. I was like, that's stupid. Like,
Well, first 7 months away. Second, what happens if Ronda gets hurt? What if her jaw breaks again in
that's what I'm saying.
training?
If Ronda loses, or
Like,
if Ronda loses twice to Holly, I mean, that's like.
well, and the other thing is what's a better thing for the sport? If you're going to look at the long game of the sport, to have Holly fight somebody else, boom. Because here's a shallow division, 135. Tell me the names.
Yeah.
Who are the 135s? And I think Miesha Tate's a tougher fight for Holly than Ronda.
Yeah.
As far as let her be champion, yeah, I think that's a way tougher fight. And also let Ronda fight her way back.
Yeah,
it was a
that's the
definitive
main
meeting.
thing.
It was that. So then there's 4 girls now that we get to know their names.
Yeah.
Let's know their names. Let's build that sport.
Well, exactly.
The only one that makes sense as far as immediate rematch, and I think everything else is just whack as fuck, is Carlos. If Carlos wants to fight again and rematch Robbie, that's the only thing that makes sense.
What about Aldo McGregor?
No, because it's just like Ronda.
I think that's silly, yeah.
Holly completely handled Ronda.
Yeah.
McGregor completely handled Aldo, even though it was short. You know, who cares? It happened.
Yeah.
But that fight, Carlos fight, was really close, man. And it was a.
That was, I mean,
5 fucking rounds.
do you
and
think
really
that happened
disputed.
because, like, the end, like, I mean, Lawler just fucking dominated that last round?
You know why he dominated that round? Because they both knew. You heard his corner. I heard him between the 4th round. But
You got to read the story up to the 5th round,
Yeah.
and that story. What's this guy's narrative? What's this guy's narrative?
Yeah, so they knew he had to knock him out in that 5th round to win the fight. The fighters, everybody knew what was going on in the fight. Like Carlos was up 3-1, and that's what they thought. So okay, so I'm gonna get everything I got, and I'm gonna knock him out because it's the only way I'm gonna win. And God bless, that's a beautiful thing seeing what he did in that round and all that. And Carlos was just like, you know what, like he was just gonna cruise through this round and not get hit and whatever, probably do something like that. And, you know, keep the distance and all that. He's got the fight won. It's already wrapped up. That's how certain they were of what the score was. That's how the fighters knew. And then you see Carlos when he started getting tested, like, okay, I'm gonna have to really fight back now to survive.
Just to stay alive.
That's what people think about fighting, but that's what happened in fighting. Fighters know what happened. And all
Yes,
that.
like just like what Keith said yesterday. He's like, Carlos had to not get knocked out, and he won. Robbie had to knock him out, or else he loses. And that, like, so they're both going in with that narrative. They both know I only need to survive. I have to knock him out.
Yeah.
And then we saw whatever, and I don't know. I talked to Carlos last night, and I was saying it's like completely satisfied with the fight.
Really?
Couldn't be more satisfied. Happy as anything. Like, very happy with the performance, with what happened. He's like a fantastic test. I mean, you really think about it. What's a better test as far as like, if you look at like Shogun back in Pride days, that kind of savagery, that's Robbie Lawler. Like, who better to test your head against than Robbie Lawler?
Yeah.
Man, that guy just throws bricks all day long, relentless.
He runs through people.
And definitively, I think Carlos won and controlled that fight. But that's my opinion. Just like 3 judges had their opinion, you got your opinion. And Carlos says it. Everybody knows what happened in the fight. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful experience, and that's what I think Keith is talking about too, about old school fighters like that. Is like, it's the beauty of that experience. It's not necessarily holding that belt. That's a cool thing. Yeah. But he had a beautiful fucking experience that is really beyond measure. Maybe the best fight of the world.
I'd rather be on that fight on either side than win-loss. I'd rather be a part of that fight
than Conor McGregor.
That's what I'm saying. There's a degree. What you're talking about is like the art of the martial art. It's the craft that these old school warriors have worked for, and it's like anything. My buddy and I, he's a cinematographer in Chicago, and he was talking about the art of smith. Just like back in the old days, you had like a blacksmith and a steelsmith, and like these were people who dedicated their lives to being the best at what they do, this Bushido code and whatever they were working in. Exactly. And it's like, we now, like, with podcasts and YouTube and fucking movies and everything, it's like, how can I get famous quickly? How can I make money quickly? How can I do this quickly? And there's a lack of craft in there.
There's like an arrogance without merit. There's people that have confidence without meriting that confidence. So it's like, it would be akin to going, I'm a doctor, I'm a brain surgeon, but I haven't gone to school at all.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to operate because I have that kind of audacity. There's that kind of arrogance that happens, and that's a danger.
Something backwards about that too. Like, I want to be famous.
You haven't been vetted though.
What can I do to get there?
Work.
Maybe podcasts will work. Maybe I'll be an actor because I want to be famous.
Yeah, trust me, if you want to get famous, don't fucking be an actor, because that's the worst way to do that.
I mean, the best thing about life is like, don't do any of that shit. Like, whatever, fucking listen to what your heart is and do the thing that you love. If you do the thing that you love and you do that thing with fucking all the vigor of a fucking hard dick on a 14-year-old on a first date with some hot chick, fucking do that for your whole fucking life, man. That's being alive. Yeah. And that thing will pay off, whatever that is. And then when you become excellent at whatever that thing is, I swear to fucking God, man, it's like, the problem is I'm trying to get good at 8 different things. You get good at that one thing, that thing fucking ripples into your whole life. That is the simplicity of that. You become electric everywhere.
Like what you said, man, like, I don't want to be a famous actor. Like, I have no desire for that. I just want to be a really good working actor. I want other actors that, oh, that guy's a good actor. Maybe that'll turn into something, maybe it won't, but that's what I want. Like, it's not the fame. Like, I'm not.
Well, I mean, you look, it always comes out in the wash, I think. Like, acting is something I've done since I was 15, so I always think about that, but it's like, you look at like these Disney stars, whatever, kids that their parents fucking took them to an audition, and Michael Jackson them until they got their dance moves down or whatever, and they're famous for 2 or 3 years, and they develop a healthy coke addiction, and they disappear.
That's all like home training shit too, though. Like the character about what type of man do you want to be? What are you willing to die for? I think if you don't ask yourself questions like that, your life is going to be kind of empty. It's going to be kind of shallow. And I think that those are the differences, regardless of whether it's acting or whether it's your paper delivery guy. Like whatever it is, you have to put your life, if you want greatness in your life, you have to kind of put it through that kind of a lens and go, what's important in life? What's important to me in that life? And for me, whether it's acting or whatever it's doing, I mean, and it goes back for me into competitions, is I wanted to the flag I'm carrying, I want to be proud.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to do them right. I want to be able to do my coaches and my training partners right. The guy that gave me that job, fuck man, he gave me a job and he's not the director, he's not the producer. I want those guys to go to him and go, I'm glad you got that guy. I want them to be happy that they chose me because I did the best goddamn job of what was available out there. And I think like when I look at it towards that, I go, where can I be helpful instead of where can I get mine? You know, and that becomes the path you have to walk, and you have to choose what does you want to do. Now, one's not right or one's not the other, but the thing is this, and regardless of what path you choose, if you're looking at happiness and what that is, you're not going to find it if you're looking for self. It's going to seem like that.
What do you mean?
You won't find your happiness if your goals are how do I make myself shine the most or whatever like that. You know, the best parts of life are making other people better is when you're invested in that, when you're invested in making the whole better. When you're looking at the thing of how can I make the whole world better? I mean, there's two views. You can look at it, how do I make me better? And then how do I make me better in my community, in my family, in my state, in my region, in my country, in my world? Or you can look at it from the other way and go, no, fuck me. How can I be a service to the universe, to the world, to my country, to my family? Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you look at it that way, fuck, life gets beautiful and you can wear it easy. If you're wearing the other way, you're nervous about everything. I'm gonna not get something I need, or they're gonna take something I got, or something. And that's a fucking petty little way to live.
You never
So I always hope for guys that you get everything. I hope you get all the pussy you want. I hope you get all the money you want. I hope you get the job you want. I hope you get all that shit in spades, so you can see that that's not what you lack.
Yeah.
That's not what you're missing.
It's that deferred gratification.
Sure.
It's, you work your whole fucking life, now you're CEO, and you're like, why aren't I happy? I was told I'd be happy if I got here, so why am I not happy? What the fuck's going on, you know?
Yeah. That's where a lot of people do.
I'm telling you.
You get to it and they're like, I had 2 kids and I got Jesus and I got this house. What the fuck? Why do I want to eat a pistol?
Yeah. My roommate just went to Africa over the summer and he came back and he was astounded. He was like, these people have nothing and yet all smiles, all hugs, so happy you're here. I listened to like the On It podcast where Aubrey talks about, he goes down to Peru and all these people are just hugs and smiles all the time. And then you come back to New York where it's just fucking killing all the time. All these people, I gotta get more. And I think they're all, it's like a big, go for it.
Different kinds of selves, like the Tait self is talking about is just like an egoic self, like your vision of who you are, like I'm a fighter, or I'm an actor, or I run this business, I'm CEO, and I'm gonna become this person, and when I become this person, I'll be happy. And that's a backwards way of looking at things. When you look at yourself, like who you really are, what makes you happy, like your family, your true being, all that stuff, and everything besides of all this stuff that you do. Like you use your art to find that person. When you develop that person, then you can expand to everybody and start helping everybody out. But you expand on that false guy that, like I used to say when I was a fighter, I used to say, and I lied, I wasn't true. I used to say like, I don't identify myself as a fighter, because you identify with yourself as a fighter, like you live and die by everything fighting, like if you lose, it's the end of the world, and your self-confidence is because you're a fighter and everything's built on that. And I used to say that I didn't identify with that, but I did, because I didn't know who I really was at that time. Like who was Keith Jardine? I didn't know. He was still a fighter, even though I tried to separate myself. No, I'm this guy that likes movies and reads books and all that, but I was still the fighter guy. And only until after that I started to realize who I really was.
And do you think that you like changed in the sense where it's like, I mean, I'm constantly like, who the fuck am I? Tony and I talk about that all the time, but it's like, who I consider myself now is so different than even a year ago. And it's because I don't think it's a lack of my understanding of myself a year ago. I think it's like I knew myself and I just didn't like myself. Or
I think it's the same person. It's just like you know him better.
Okay.
You know?
There's uncovering too. I think you wear a lot of masks.
Yeah.
You wear a lot of protections, right?
Protections.
And so then you uncover yourself and you go, oh, maybe there's nothing to fear. And then you get a little more faith because you put in the reps of risking and showing somebody who you are. Because what's everybody scared of? Like if you really know me, you wouldn't love me, or you'd go away or something, or whatever. And what are we dying from? What are the cancers we die from? Not expressing ourselves. You know what I mean? So we're working against but there's part of myself that isn't on my side. You know, there's part of me that makes bad fucking decisions for me.
Yeah.
And so to get that, so what's success? Is having this discipline and dominion over my mind, over my baser natures, over my physicality, over all of those things. Why do we suffer? Because that brings us closer to who we are. You know, and that's one of the things about the fallacy of happiness, especially in America, when you talk about whether it's African cultures or different places where it's like, there's a lot of suffering, it's fraught with it, and it's clear. We look for comfort here, right? I'd like to look like Honey Boo Boo and be on the couch. You know what I mean? Just bring me some 7-Eleven, give me some slushies and some chips, and I'm good, right? And so that's somebody that has really cleaved themselves to comfort. So it's comfort, happiness. You know, and you go into that, and I go, no, man, fucking struggling. When you watch that, that's the beauty. That's what gets us together, is we come together through our brokenness, through the ways that we break ourselves down, and we come, like, you go sweat with somebody, you go and fucking work out, you go do anything that's like high adrenaline risk behavior with somebody, you get close to that person because you've risked something. And life is that, it's risky.
You gotta, it's funny that you say that, because like with Lululemon, when we interview people, that's what we do with them. We take them to a workout, because it's like you...
And I like it because those girls are risking. You put all that booty in those pants.
I'm just saying.
And fucking God bless you, ladies, keep risking.
But you like put that, you know, you take someone to a box or something and start just throwing, like, what can you handle? Like, I don't give a fuck if we're doing dips and you get one dip. I don't give a shit if you get half a dip. But it's like, are you willing to fight? Are you willing to fight through that pressure? Yeah. And I mean, we've had people, Tony can attest, we've had people who come and they just say, I don't want any part of that. And they'll go sit down. And I'm like, man, you're so afraid of being exposed.
But what's better than when you take that person and you go, no, I'll walk with you and we'll do this together. And you go down and you parrot whatever their pace is, and you get them through it. That's fucking magic, man.
That's how jiu-jitsu was for me. When I first did jiu-jitsu, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, this is, you know. And
I just need you to try. Just get involved in it, and then you'll see that you're not. Because the thing is that you think you're alone. But then when I take you in and we do it together, fuck, I'm not alone anymore. Now we're together. And I'll tell you what, if I were alone, I would quit. I would quit on my own. But you're with me, now I owe you. Because now we're a unit, you know, and that's a fucking beautiful thing, man. That's what life is. We're not solitary creatures. We're community herd animals. Like, that's what humans, primates are that. And like when we, you know, you look at like what's the worst thing that you can do to a human. You're, you know, like Rogan talks about it. You're in prison with rapists, murderers, killers. The fucking worst punishment if you fuck up in prison, isolation. Solitary confinement.
You are alone.
You're already with fucking rapists. We're gonna put you in solitary because that's the very worst thing we can do, and that's akin to torture. For people.
Being alone.
We need each other, man.
It's in like also looking at what that does to people, how that fucks with people. Holy shit. You know, prisoners of war, all that stuff. It's so. I keep thinking Duty and I always go to we'll work out together a lot, and we just talk so much shit to each other.
Does he squat all the time?
Dude, what's your squat now? 525? Yeah. No, so but it's like it's that same concept. When you have like a brother there, or just someone who they don't care, they're just there for you and you're there for them. I mean, that's I've played sports all my life, and that's the one thing I'm so thankful I learned is just the concept, the power of camaraderie, of team building. And like martial arts is so funny because everyone thinks it's a solitary sport because they look and they just see Robbie Lawler versus Khan, you know, but that's a team versus another team. That's a family respectfully fighting another family. And the power of that is just astounding, you know. If either one of those guys were training by themselves.
I mean, you ask either one of those guys, you know, what made you on this athlete on this day you? And you gave them a list of a fucking 100 names to put down, it wouldn't be enough. Like, it would be endless. The guys that have touched their lives, that have grown them into that moment, you know? And that's the thing about life. Like, people look at that and they think, you know, it becomes like that kind of arrogance too, where you're like, oh, I could handle that pressure. I wish that was me. I would have done this or that. And it's like, that's a whole fucking life of pressure. You know, life is about like how much pressure can you take in a lot of ways. It's like, so I put myself in more pressure and more struggle, and then I become a little more refined. And like those guys, that's a fucking lot of, that's breaking pressure at any other point. And I always use the example of like, It's like it's easy if you see, somebody squat 400 pounds and they're like, wow, they did that 5 times, fucking amazing. And then you look at it with the ease that they did it, and you're like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And then you go in there and boom, and you're on the fucking floor with weight on your
Whenever I
back.
watch like parkour
Right?
videos, I'm like, I can do that shit.
So you look at that, and then you feel how hard cement is. And that kind of an idea is like you're disrespecting all that it took, the building blocks to get to that point. And like you look at a 5-round championship fight, what are the fucking building blocks that it took that kind of tenacity to get to, their whole lives? It's the whole life of pressure. And that's whatever discipline it is. I don't care if you're a cellist or a biologist or whatever it is. It's like those people that have been in the game for a long time, it's like meriting it. Like what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is we talk about that 5-round fight and you watch guys like the Carlos fight, whatever, like those guys are like they look fine, they're moving around, they look athletic or whatever, the boxing, like, oh, I would do this, I would do that, why doesn't it do this? People don't understand that those guys are dying inside. Their body's screaming at them to stop.
Right, if you watch the end of that fight, the second that fight ended, they both fell on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a beautiful shot. Both of them leaning on the wall right next to each other.
God. And I mean, it was like the bell rung and they were there, just like fucking
So
gassed. Yeah.
Being out on that whole thing, I haven't sparred in years or done anything like that. And I saw there's a right hook that connected right kind of on the temple ear of Carlos, and right when my eyes got big and because I got an idea of what that feels like, right?
Yeah.
And fucking and blood goes and Carlos comes back and he's got that big crazy Joker smile of his, and I'm like, and that's the difference, that's the guy that's built for that fucking moment, man.
Yeah. Well, that's when you finally like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's of all places, I was in this yoga class and we went to this like one thing and the teacher was sitting there and she was like, when you start to feel pain, that's when the shit gets fun.
Sure. That's what you did it for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the reason you had the first 4 rounds is for that 5th round.
Yeah.
The reason, like in a workout, like you're doing 3 rounds, it's not the first 2 rounds. It's so you can fucking push and drive in that 3rd round.
Yeah.
Like that's where the love is. That's where all the success
certain
is.
kind of surrender too. Like you see like new guys coming up and fighting, and you see they start to get tired or whatever, and they start to panic and they don't know what to do. They don't want to get more tired, and the panicking, trying not to get tired, makes them more tired.
Yeah.
There's a certain kind of beautiful surrender in fighting. It sounds surrender is the wrong thing, but it's the right thing because like you get that tiredness and it's like there's 2 ways to react. You can resist it, or you're like, well, it's going to be that kind of fight.
Yeah, it's like less of a surrender, more of like this thing's like banging on your door, and you finally like open the door and you're like,
there we go.
come in, motherfucker, we're here.
It's cool though. There's like you got to walk through that, and like it's interesting too in like teamwork and like getting vetted kind of in teams is like that. Like I remember, I think it was maybe the first circle I ever did at Jackson's, and it was in the gym that was over by I-40, and I think Joey maybe was on top of me and hammering me, and Keith is there and he's just like, just get tired, man. And he's like in that mellow, little kind voice, just get tired, just keep moving, get tired, let's get up if we can, And it taught me about the little battles. Just get to your elbow and then get up on your hip, like. And there's these little spots in there, and it's like keep calm and like that voice. That's why I really love like when you hear Greg Jackson coach, like what a master that man is. I mean, he's sublime. He brings like in that melee, in that chaotic melee, he brings guys. Okay, we're just breathing and let's just relax.
It's not about big victories. It's the small victories on the way.
I want you to throw a few more jabs this round. Now let's just breathe, and then maybe that's the only physical thing he says. Throw a few more or something like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing, dude. And knowing your athletes and knowing people, the psychology of the fight, all of that stuff.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, Gavin says this all the time. It's like once you get comfortable being uncomfortable, everything opens up.
Yeah.
Everything. Once you're, like sparring and stuff. The first thing is like, all right, like get ready to get hit in the mouth. Get ready to feel.
I think the thing is too. I don't give a shit if you want to start a store, or if you want to be a banker, or whatever you want to do. If you don't fucking quit. Like if you're comfortable being uncomfortable, everybody else is a pussy. You can count on it. You can count on people caving. Like so, 80% of the people you're gonna beat just because they fucking cave in.
Yeah.
Now, if you last that long, you'll be a bit better, and now you'll be able to compete with that last 20%. And that's where the grind is. But like everybody sucks. Most people choose to suck and fucking suck into their comfort and their safety. awesome. If you're one that doesn't, that can't because you'd rather kill yourself, you're gonna be great.
I think
you just
it's-
don't fucking stop.
I think too, it's like, and like I struggle with this too every day. It's like I constantly every morning have the choice, and it's like I can be mediocre today, and no one will say anything.
Right.
Or I can go and do my best.
People will even say they understand.
Yeah.
Oh, no, dude. You
I
deserve
get, that's
it.
the thing is you know, you have all these people like, I need a vacation, I need this, and it's because they're overworking themselves and stressing themselves out over stuff they don't even care about.
Yeah.
You know, and so like Tawny, I talk with a lot. Tawny loves to work on goals and stuff like that with other people, and it's just, you gotta dedicate this time and make a pattern and like go, you know, every morning I get up and I write for 2 hours on plays
Good
and
for
shit
you.
that you might not ever see, but it's
awesome.
who cares,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, it's
Nobody, but it matters.
It's that time when nobody's watching.
but it's like exactly, you
Yeah.
get that like I just beat resistance today.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no one's watching Connie do the battle ropes for fucking 40 seconds at all these reps. No one sees that, but he knows, you know, putting in that work gets there. And what I like struggle with and what I'm learning from, you know, guys like you and Rogan and all that is like you have the choice every morning, and it's always a struggle, that resistance to be mediocre or go try to be great. And like you said, like most people, they're choosing that first one, so it makes the second choice easier, even if
They
you don't
even
hit that.
You know, and the bummer is, I don't think it's because people inherently suck. I think it's because like we're marauded with images of horrific failure and of dastardly deeds and of secularism. Like, ooh, look out for these guys. Ooh, there's danger on 9th Street today. Ooh, they're like, and so you're given this fear fucking doctrine all the time. So fuck, it's scary to try.
Also, it's like that guy's just a good actor, you know, like he didn't put all the work. He's just a good actor. That guy just happened to be a good playwright. That guy's a good fighter. Like I'm not a good fighter. That guy's a good fighter. Like no, those guys put the 10,000 hours in. You're getting up every morning. You're putting your hours in every morning when nobody's watching. You don't have to. Your friends maybe want you to watch TV or go hang out with them or whatever, man. But
all of a
there's
sudden,
no magic.
Yeah,
Somebody's
it's
just
fucking
good
good
at
right here.
something.
all of a sudden doesn't exist.
So I hate this thing.
Yeah.
I hate that thing because it's just like my roommates will come here and be like, "Yo, you want to play Madden? Give me 2 hours. If you still want to play in 2 hours, I gotta get this in." You know?
Beautiful, man.
The thing is people, you talked about stressors in life and stuff a minute ago,
Yeah.
and like everybody, they're like, "Ooh, you're stressed." Like, there's not anybody that has a conversation like, "Good, stress is good," but like stress brings up the best of us. Like when we go and we put ourselves and pit ourselves against each other, that's stress. That's wearing. Fuck, it raises the game too. So like, I think stress is like necessary, and you should go into being stressful. You should also look to where you can relax, but that becomes knowing your body and knowing the waves of the world.
And I think
stress
too,
isn't a bad thing.
There's a difference. I'm more than happy to be stressed out if I'm doing something I love.
I don't work well without stress,
Yeah.
but fuck, I'm late almost everywhere I go in my life, or just on the verge of it, because I need that. I like to need that nervous. I fucking. That's where I live in chaos and that kind of thing. I like that. I'm good there.
Yeah.
And so I kind of create those situations. I've noticed not always the best for people around me, but that's kind of what that's. If there's pressure, I don't work well if it's easy. You know, and Darren was saying that too. He's a great stunt coordinator, second unit director, and he's like, you know, if it's a nothing stunt, if it's just like whatever, that's where people get hurt. Because I don't care. Like, I'm not even showing up. I'm like, whatever, and I get lackadaisical. Now, if there's a 4-car turnover and somebody's coming off a high-rise building on fire, fucking, we're in. Let's do it. Like,
She goes
you know what I mean?
perfectly. Yeah.
But like, you can almost take life for granted if the stakes aren't high enough. You know?
Yeah. It's. I see what you're saying. It's the same reason.
And the better you get, the more you need the stakes higher.
Yeah. You know, it's like you said, like in college or whatever. I'd have like a paper, and I would always wait till like, oh, it's due in 2 hours, I better start, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, that's the smallest version of that. It's getting psyched and like the
It's
reason
the same
why.
thing, man. Those small versions, what I've
Exactly,
noticed is
that's
the
what I'm saying.
microcosms are mirroring the macrocosms. It's all the same
ready.
shit.
I mean, it's the same reason, like, we were just talking about skiing and stuff before we got started. Like, you come up to that big bowl and like, you look, you see that double black diamond, and you're like,
I go to wherever the blue is, the green or
blue,
something.
green, just like right there.
I take a left.
You know, it's that's sort of the stuff that like you have to learn how to love that stress, and if you can embrace it, and like I said, like if you don't push it away, if you don't push the tired away, you just open the door for it. You're like, welcome in, brother, give it a hug and stuff, like it's only gonna work for you.
I mean, go ahead.
It's the 80-20%, 80-20 principle. 80% of everything good happens in 20% of the time. It's like when you're rushing for the airplane, you get more done you got that day you did the entire week.
I mean, people always say that experience. Like, I get everything done before noon. Like, if I'm up at 8, and then the rest of the day, basically nothing gets done.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, do you have that complex stuff? Like I have this too, where like if I'm relaxing or whatever, I feel like shit for doing it.
it depends what happens, what precedes that, right? But if I give you 7 days and you just relax all the time, you're gonna feel sore, shitty, ill at ease, maybe a little depressed at the end of that.
Yeah.
If you work your fucking ass off for 6 days and then you don't do anything on that last day, you might even feel like I should be doing something. It'll feel good, and then Monday you'll be ready to get at it again.
Yeah, you get excited.
It's like, you need that. I
What
think.
is relaxing though? Isn't writing relaxing? Like what are you doing?
Yeah, but it's like, you know, it's a meditation, I'll say, but I don't
Exactly.
consider meditation necessarily relaxing for me, because meditation, like, you know, you start uncovering stuff. Like writing, it can honestly be an uncomfortable situation for me, because it can be like, man, this is coming up and I didn't realize that, or you know, so meditation for me, it isn't always like, you know, I took 2 hours, I meditated and I feel great. Sometimes it's like, I meditated and I feel like shit about this, and I got some stuff I got to figure out.
Yeah,
you know?
I try to make everything have a purpose though, you know, like if I'm relaxing, whatever relaxing is, like maybe it's something that's not really relaxing, but
Yeah,
but
I mean, like
it has a
CrossFit
purpose.
is sometimes the most relaxing thing for me, because I
Yeah,
got
right.
nothing else to worry about.
Honestly, I think that when I go to the gym, that's kind of like relaxing time.
Mm-hmm. Like getting hit in the face, you're like, oh, this is great. You know?
Like, do I have any desire to sit around and watch daytime TV?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think about that too. If I'm like a
Just reading a book
daytime
is-
show, I'm like,
yeah.
who the fuck's watching this?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not me.
You know, I watched a commercial for some cop show, and I was like, oh, these are actors, and they have their own series, and I think I'm like, that'd be awesome, but I got no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And like after this show's over, maybe nobody else will either.
No, it's like I just saw Star Wars too, and I was like, man. Like,
Do you get sad about Mark Hamill's not around?
Have you seen the movie yet?
No.
All right, go see the movie.
Yeah, that's great.
Spoilers.
Somebody wrote, I haven't seen it at all, but somebody wrote on Instagram,
Yeah.
which is crazy. It's a crazy interaction, that whole thing. But somebody wrote on it, and there's like a picture of me and my mom, and they're right. It's like the day after the movie came out, and they go, yeah, too bad Han Solo got killed by his son in the end of it. And I was like, hey, I don't know whether that happened or not. Like, I still don't know if that's.
See the movie.
And so I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not or anything. But underneath, 30 comments just fucking,
Yeah.
you fucking piece of shit. If you get cancer and fucking suffer for years, it'll be better for your. Like, people hate that guy. And I'm like,
Whoa.
this is just entertainment.
That's
It's not-
impressive. Yeah. No, I mean they did like the old school, you know, like when George Lucas did it, he hired a bunch of no names, and I mean
I like
Harrison
it.
Ford at the time, yeah.
And
Go for it.
strings and fucking like paper mache and
Yeah.
mobiles
In his fucking
and, like,
ranch.
and it looks fucking real
Yeah.
as fuck.
Dude, J.J. Abrams.
Fuck the 80s and 90s for all of their CG and all their
Yeah.
bullshit. In 1979, he had it fucking locked.
Here's the thing, none of that stuff looks real.
And the first Star Wars holds up today.
Yeah, it does. The shitty ones in the early 2000s, no. But like, I just watched The Reverend, the Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, is that good?
It's alright, but it's like that bear you see in the commercial. That bear, like, in no point was I watching the movie like this is a real bear. Like, you know, it's a CGI.
really?
Like that, all that CGI stuff.
That sucks.
They haven't
People even see that with
Yeah.
cars. They
Yeah.
see it in car, like, you know, like I've gone to the Taurus Awards, the Stunt Awards, and all that, and like, and there's movies that have car crashes that are actual, and then car crashes that are CGI, and they're like, and they're like, you can get the metrics for it. People fucking don't appreciate it. It's going back to more real.
That's
you
what
need to
I'm saying.
have real.
Chris Nolan is apparently huge on like get it as real as
Yeah.
fucking possible. Like, what's the one with the dreams and all that? Starts with an I. I can't remember.
Interstellar?
Inception. Thank you.
Inception.
And they're like spinning through the hallway, and he put a hallway, and he started spinning it, and then they rolled the cameras, so you got guys like actually doing it, and then it looked real.
Yeah.
You know, and then. I mean, it's one thing, Star Wars, I go in, obviously we're not in space filming shit, so it's fine, I'm willing to watch, but I don't like, the CGI game is like about like let's fool these people in a way, you know?
Right.
And it's like we just haven't gotten there yet. Pretty soon.
I think the best one they ever did was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. That was the best CGI ever to date. Still, you gotta watch it. It's good. There's actual cardboard figures that are cut. I'm like, that's a cardboard figure that just blew up. Like, it's awesome.
Well, like if you go watch like an old like Wizard of Oz, they got fucking cardboard painted in the back. Like, it's fun to watch like where that stuff goes. I mean, you guys have both done big projects and stuff with 2 guns, and there's a shit ton in there, and it's just all that stuff. It's just weird to me how that's like sort of where we are, and it's like
I'm pissed they didn't get a real bear for him to fight.
me too.
Fuck.
Just get a bear.
There's bears that have.
You want to talk about why he doesn't want an Oscar?
There's trained bears, yeah. Have a set.
Yeah.
The fuck. In 2 guns, I got shot in the back of the head, fell face down in the stampeding cattle with fucking horns. Where's your nutsack at, Leo? The fuck?
Oh my god.
Well, last good thing he did was Basketball
Oscar.
Diaries. That was it. Ever since then, your career's been downhill, the captain.
Oh, don't be saying shit about Leo on my podcast.
That motherfucker, I wanted to, like, that was the very best. I love him in that. I don't know if you, but everything he's ever done has been fucking awesome.
He picks movies very, very well.
Yeah, he does.
He never misses, man. That guy, every time, has been excellent.
I think Django was the Django.
He was great.
God.
What about Gangs in New York? Holy fuck.
That movie? It's so hard when you're, like that whole cast is insane for Gangs in New York, and like.
But that really speaks to his excellence, I think, in that way, because had he not been that good, it really sticks out, right? Like how often you watch a really good actor amongst other people that aren't so good, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a different.
Do you ever go watch like old movies about like with the Cary Grants and shit, where it's like these were the best for sure, and you're kind of like, this guy kind of sucks,
for sure, yeah,
It's funny, old movies, like, they're always like that big pause, like, now it's your turn to talk.
Yeah,
now it's my turn to talk.
they're sitting there and there's some guy on the side like, whatever. Oh, it's kind of fun to watch like how the games changed in that too. But it's like what we were talking about with fighting, like acting used to be, you go back to like the Richard Burbage in the Shakespeare days, and even like before that with Greece and shit, like people were doing it because they loved it, Sophocles would get up and he'd start talking because he had a message and he loved it, and you weren't gonna find
well, and it was subversive. There's like this private way to be subversive against an oppressive government a lot of times. Like a lot of cartoons, a lot of literature is like that, It's really interesting when you read stuff like that or watch stuff like that, and then you read about the temperature of the political climate at that time.
You should, there's a play called Trojan Women. I can't remember the guy. It's a clip.
All I hear about is condoms and girls.
All about it. Right. But he wrote it. He was a Greek. Wrote it about the Spartan War, or the Trojan War, and just shat on the Greeks the entire time. It's literally the definition of like, who's that fat guy who's always making movies about how America sucks?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like he was the Michael Moore of the Greek age, and it's like cool to see that.
Yeah. Did you see the movie they tried to do about Michael Moore, following Michael Moore around?
No.
Oh, it was awesome. And then he's having motherfuckers because he's like, I'm this guerrilla guy that just goes in places and I do this and I get the hard stories.
I did hear about that.
And then there was fucking guys that did that to him, and he's having guys arrested. They go into his banking. They're like, so Halliburton is 60% of your stock portfolio, and you're going against these shit like that. It was awesome.
Halliburton was like, all right, so here's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, right. Could be.
It's like how Marlboro owns Truth.org because it's all press. All press is good, but isn't that fucked up? Wow. Keith's face.
Well, I think that they have to do it.
Yeah, they have to.
They get. I think that's too. The fucking UFC. The reason that they're doing the fucking all the drug testing and shit right now is a class act for sure. This is my supposition. Nobody's told me this, Dana White, but for sure, he don't care about those guys that much. And this is because there's a lawsuit that is pending, or that's to come. Like, nobody cares enough to fucking put money towards people's safety unless they're getting sued saying, hey, you let me fight a fucking super physiological fucking monster and you never tested any of us. And that's why this is all happening right now, which is it's an interesting kind of...
Yeah. Go for it.
Some guy gets really hurt and the guy that's fighting him gets popped for something. Yeah, that could be
for sure.
When you were fighting, I mean, was it known like that stuff was going on?
Oh, heck yeah, I was the dumb one, I feel like.
I mean,
Why is my trainer so bad?
I remember reading a Phil Baroni quote, and they're like, how did you ever? And he's like, oh, I just got lucky. They just never called my name or whatever. And it's like, and for sure, those guys are getting directed about, hey, check these guys, don't check those, or whatever. I mean, there was a time when that was certainly what was happening.
Well, Rogan just had Lance Armstrong on his podcast,
right.
And that was, I don't know if you listened to it, but I mean, the way Lance Armstrong talks about it, it's like I was given drugs and I was excited because it meant I was going to the Tour de France. Like, it meant I was one of the best. And everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
So why would I not do it?
That's what I don't like about it. And that's why I don't like, oh, we're keeping guys safe. Oh, it's for the fucking kids. Oh, it's for this. It's like, that's not the reason money. Any of these are part of that. And why don't you just say that you don't want to get sued later? That's real, at least. Because people want to see Barry Bonds hit a fucking baseball a mile.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see that. Who cares?
You know? It's I mean, do you think everyone should be like, you should either all be able to do it or
I think anybody should be able to do whatever they want to do if they want to get better. And if that is something that makes you better and it doesn't have dire, like everybody, there's also like, who's the last guy that they're like, oh, steroids are bad, point to Lyle Alzado in 1987. Holy fuck, 1987?
Yeah.
That's the most recent guy that you can get a horrible story about steroids from? That seems crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so, then, I mean, maybe there is. I don't know, like there's probably world wrestlers and this and that.
But if you're a fucking grown man, you should do what you want.
But that's all psychiatric medicine, the guy that was the world wrestler that killed himself and his wife and all that. And so we don't look into that though.
Yeah.
All the school murders are all psychiatric medicine. We don't look into that. But this thing that only makes people stronger, well, I don't want them to be too strong. That seems like a silly thing for Congress to talk about.
Because it's a distraction.
Perhaps. But the other thing is I think the whole thing that they're saying is like you're going to get into genome transfers, or you're going to get into a lot of things that are going to change you chromosomally in the future, for sure. And so then maybe your tendons don't rip as easily. Maybe you can stay healthier for longer. But that's genetic enhancement, so we're not going to have that in sport because that's so-called cheating. Like, so to make the human body better as we evolve, we're not going to do that against you. So pretty soon you'll have the people in the arena that won't be as in good a physical condition as the people watching because they're tested. That seems retarded.
I can't wait till we're like.
I remember I was Googling sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, and you know, there's links to them being carcinogenous. And so if you're gonna have like Splenda, there's brain lesions, I think, in mice it causes, and maybe I shouldn't say brand names, but like there, I mean, even on Diet Cokes and stuff, there's, you know, this contains it may be carcinogenous. If you Google sugar substitutes and cancer, you got to go to like the 5th page before anything comes up that says it's nefarious at all.
Really?
Everything else, FDA says that this isn't bad because sucralose isn't bad because Ashcroft or whoever pushed it through, they had to get it, so they have to be okay. It's like when you have the head of Monsanto that gets appointed to the FDA, thanks Obama, how can I trust any of that?
Yeah.
And so now you go to page 5 of Google before you can find anything about cancer links
Well, you have people
fake
with full-time
sugars.
jobs to make
And
sure
so
that
who's
is on
there?
page 5.
There's also the guy that says that George Bush is actually a lizard. And so now you're with the crazy people at the end of it. So all that information, you know what I mean? It's like, so you've learned how to defer information to categorize it in a way that like makes the truth look insane.
Yeah. Well,
so how do you even research?
Exactly, because the same people are the ones who are like George Bush blew up the Twin Towers and by the way, Coke is bad for you.
Sure.
And so it's like, okay, you know, and it's like you said, it's all money, you know, it's all these people who are sitting here being paid to kick those pages back to the 5th page, and by the time you get to it, it's like, well, you know, everything in moderation. You don't need this. It's fine. I saw a picture yesterday.
Or there's the backwards thinking of like, oh, everything gives you cancer. Well, no, that's not true.
That's
You know?
Gotta die of something.
Right.
Gotta go eventually, might as well, you know. I saw a picture yesterday of like, it had like separate
Gotta die of
juices and shit.
something.
And it had like bags of sugar under it. And it showed like how much sugar is in this and all that. And it was like, whoa. What are we on right now in nitros? Am I winning the nitro competition?
I think I've only had 3.
Nah, pussy.
5, 6, and then there's
6.
Right.
7, 8, 9, 12.
How many you got?
I think I got 4. We got a whole case.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Steven. Dude's bringing it in. Lacey, can I go on 2, please? Thank you.
Do the bags.
Um,
Sleeping.
This is actually, I was thinking about this last night, the law of attraction. I think like last year or whatever, I turned on my first podcast, which happened to be Road Experience.
I'm like, maybe I
And
shouldn't
then
fix
listening to
that.
Tate. And I was thinking today, like, fucking life is crazy, man. Like, I'm having Tait and Keith on my podcast today.
It's fun, huh?
So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here.
It's
Like,
good to be here.
yeah, man, just chilling out. But it's crazy. Like, the first time I heard that, I was like, that's bullshit.
They heard
The
what?
law of attraction.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like that kind of stuff.
Well, I think the thing is you start moving in energies. It's like
Energy.
if you want to get good at something, you get around people that are good at something, and you start doing the thing that you want to do. And when you start doing that stuff, then communities form around that idea. And what, like, that's why I said just do what you love. Like, it's like whatever that is, then you know
Yeah.
it becomes that thing. You
Yeah.
know, and then you get a whole bunch of like I think I like that. I first started thinking about it with that author, Brazilian guy Paulo Coelho, and he wrote The Alchemist, and it's got a line in there that when a man is striving towards his desire or towards his destiny, that the whole universe conspires to help him meet that goal. You know, and so like if you just get after whatever it is that you love, that turns you on, that makes you fucking driven and excited, everything else comes along to support that. It just happens. And I don't know how it does, but it's like it seems to be a universal law.
You
I
put
see
these
it
like
time and
wavelengths
time
on,
again.
you know? It's weird. We were talking about this yesterday. It's just you put it out and it starts, like you said, like it kind of molds around you.
Yeah, your voice
You know?
your voice creates things.
If you're strong enough to let that happen, I think there's a degree of confidence that
There's also a letting go, right? Because it's easy to smother energy, and so and discipline's super important, and it's important though to not be too disciplined in certain regards. I think that it's important that a friend of mine would always say, Tate, we're in the action business, not the results business. Like whatever the results are, they're going to vary, even if we all do the same action, right? So I can't worry about like, I want to do this to get this. No, I want to do this for the sake of this.
That's interesting.
You know, for the sake of the motion.
So when
of
you
that. You fall in love with the struggle.
when you like quote unquote set a goal, do you say like
Bad at that. I'm so
No, you're
bad.
not.
like Tatum's just like
I've done them before, but I don't work in a way that's traditional as far as like I can write out goals, have a timeline and all that. I'm really horrible at
Well,
that.
let's talk about Caveman then. Like Caveman, were you setting out to let's make delicious fucking coffee, or was it like this is cool, let's keep going?
My goal was I wanted to share this good thing that Keith found, and then you know, and it started with Lacey and I starting the rolling butter truck, and we wanted to share this cool idea we had, and we're like, well, maybe we could go and we could make extra side money on a weekend at the CrossFit Games or something like that if we had this thing going on, and with this butter coffee, you know, and with bulletproof. And so like I was like, wow, this guy's got some cool ideas. I want to blow this thing up and let's talk about it. And I think this could really get legs in this kind of thing. And so that's kind of, you know, I think I don't know, like you'd have to ask, my memories, I can barely remember this morning, but Keith and Lacey would speak to that better.
I don't know about goals. Like, what goals do we have? We're going so many directions, all that. Maybe that's a problem. But like, I don't know how many goals we actually have. We're just going. We're living every day. We're working. We're doing what's right for the day.
And then I think we expend our resources. We go to the limit of our resources, whether it's physically, mentally, or financially, and then we go and we all talk and we go, okay, we got to reel it in. We got to focus on this weekend because. Oh fuck! We got 3 dynamic people here that are leading this thing, and it, you know, it can easily get off track, and I think, you know, I really attribute, you know, Lacey Mackey as like a voice of reason that's like, okay, let's accomplish this, let's, you know, because everybody's got great ideas, right? Like, you know, creative people and everybody's got all
All right,
that,
that's
and
nice,
that's all
but-
great.
yeah.
But the fucking fact
Is that an imitation
is
of
that
me?
all those people that are highly creative in that way, they don't bring shit to fruition really. And so
I
I'm
agree
great
with it for the many.
at those
Yeah.
ideas and all that stuff, but I'm not great at the end result of that stuff. Like,
See, I've gotten to this point where it's like,
and Lacey is.
yeah, well, which by the way, that when I first talked to
She
Gavin
probably
about
has
you,
goals.
Yeah, she's got good goals.
are you a goal setter?
I'm a goal setter.
Yeah, well, because like what I'll do is, first of all, when I first talk about, yeah, hop on, what are you doing? When I first talked to Gavin about Caveman, he was like, fuck Tate, it's all Lacey.
Yeah.
Whoa, Gavin.
No,
Come on.
it's all Lacey.
So
but-
I'm just fine with it. But it's like I'll like shoot.
I would
an
agree.
idea. I'll like shoot an idea out, and like know that I might not get there, but know that like that's gonna be what's driving, like the driving force a little bit behind what I'm going towards. Does that make sense?
Well,
Sorry,
these guys say they don't set goals, but they totally do. They're the ones that like come in like, we're gonna, you know, do this on this huge scale. We're gonna make this stuff like Tait. You know, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna have 100,000 downloads in this amount of time, and like, I'm gonna be in 3 major action flicks this year, and that's goal setting. Like whether you're writing it down in like the goal setting seminar or not, like whatever.
Yeah, I don't do well with like lamb. I don't do well with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I think that people do their own thing in their own way, and just putting that out there, like you were saying earlier, is in a way goal setting. Like I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Is the statement that you have to make.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's, for me, it's just a good driver to like push myself beyond my limit, you know? And like martial arts has been great in that, where it's like, all right, I know, you know, by here I want to have an amateur fight. I know I want to roll with these like 7 people because I know they're going to get me better and they're going to do all this. And yeah, it's just, it's different. Go for it.
Yeah, that's great, man. Martial arts is great for that to test yourself, see who you really are. Like only when you're, like you said, you're suffering and all that, and you're doing something you're completely uncomfortable with. I was talking to someone the other day. I was talking to Jody about I go to sparring. I go spar with all the guys and stuff. I get nervous every time I go into spar. And I say, and it occurred to me, I don't think there's ever been a time where I went to practice and I wasn't nervous going to practice.
Really?
No, never. And I can honestly say that, like some degree of nervousness in there, pulling up to the thing, like, all right,
Let's fucking
do this. Yeah.
I mean, like I love that feeling that you learn to crave it, like skiing or acting or sometimes going to work or like fucking. I woke up this morning, I was like, all right, like big podcast today. I'm really excited for you know, but it's like a nervousness that fucking drives you. And
That's what we're talking about. That stress.
Yeah.
You need that stress. You need it to be able to perform. You know. And I guess I feel like as far as goal setting, it's like I think of an idea and then I start walking. Like I'm not good at like people are like, oh, like who's your favorite philosopher? Like and I go, I think philosophy is for pussies. Kind of. I feel like that's a bunch of dudes that are talking about some shit that aren't about some shit.
Yeah.
And I'd rather go out and be about some
Just
shit.
go do some
You know
shit.
what I mean?
People talk
And like,
about
and that's a really gross statement and overstatement that I just made. But like, there's a degree of that I live my life by. It's like, I don't want to sit and chat about this, and I'd rather be out doing something with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, have people talk about you and the shit you're doing.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
all
it's like show up. Like the idea of just like show up. Like whether it's practice, whether it's getting good at a sport, or like creating whatever it is. Like if you don't show up, it never starts. And then if you do show up, it'll unfold in a way that you had no idea it was going to unfold. So you just have to like succumb to the process and allow that to happen. And when you do, that's when things happen.
I'm really huge on it. It's the journey, not the goal. Even on microcosms for little things or big things like your life. Like you set goals for direction, maybe. Who knows what's good or what's bad? Maybe that thing, if you achieve it, leads to something even worse. And it's all about just having the direction, and it's all about the journey, the struggle every day. That's life. It's not the thing in the end that's going to make you happy. What's that you said the other day? About whatever it is not going to make you happy.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I've been thinking about that ever since. Whatever it is you're thinking about, man, that thing is not going to make you happy. It's something around that thing. It's the journey. It's something that's achieved inside. But
That's
whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
That's I like that a lot.
I feel like too, man, the whole idea of like goals or philosophy or this, that, like what's been cool about the three of us is that we've all read a lot, like we're not idiots, and we know a lot of different people's ideas about things, but it wasn't like a conversation that we're like, let's talk about these things. It's like, no, we're gonna go out our ways and we're gonna do these things and put them into our lives, and then we'll have an experience with which to speak of. And so that becomes the power. And like whether that was like, I think for us it started with diet in a lot of ways, and like, let's try paleo diet, let's try primal diet, let's try this kind of like, and you go into these different things and find out what diet is for you. And then we came back and we talked about it. Like that, I think really like for us three, that's nutrition is what drew us all together. just prior to Caveman happening. And so I think that's a huge variant that when you talked about it before, and you talked about Carlos, and it's like there's a whole team of people that have made that happen, right? The same thing with all of us. It's like wherever you are, there's nobody like there's this whole thing, and there's a bunch of fucking internet idiots that are like, I'm a self-made person, or like
made it happen.
And guys are like that. You're self-made, Tait. I really like that. I get mad about that because it's degrading to everybody that's fucking been kind and loving to me.
Yeah.
It's degrading to every one of my fucking teachers that I believe that you should have reverence for if you like me at all. Like and so there's that kind of thing. Like nobody is untouched by the graciousness of the universe. Like we've all been given. Like a guy told me, he says, you have grace and mercy in spades, Tait. And I go, I don't know what grace is. And he said, well, that's getting something that you don't deserve. And he says, and mercy,
That's a comment.
he says, mercy is fucking not getting something that you do deserve. And at that point in my life, I totally fucking could see those things being true.
Really?
Like, for sure. I should have been in prison, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and there's people that you look at the track record of my life, there's no reason you would have helped me. It would have been dangerous to do so. And they helped me anyway. You know, I totally heard exactly what he was saying. And the fucking thing about my life, you fast forward 20 years or whatever into my life, and I've got these beautiful people that are all around me in this room today. And wherever I am, man, it's like I don't miss the places. Like, oh, do you miss New York or LA or New Mexico? Or I fucking miss the people, man. It's the people in my life that make it. And so that whole thing about the people, who are the people in my life? They're the conversations of people that are out there in activity, that are out there in action, that are going, I am a master of myself, my body, and my mind. I'm trying to get better at those things, and I'm enacting these things in my life to get better at those things. And this is how I've been walking. And then I get around those people and I find out their experiences, and I can share my experience. And fuck, man, that's where real power comes, because then we built, you built your own community of love and empowerment. And like, how does that fucking, like, that grows into something. It's like that thing, there's an old, I feel like I'm talking a lot right now, you guys. But I think it's Euclid maybe that talked about it, and he talks about the sum is or the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, is maybe the first part of his book on mathematics. And you look at like what that is, right? And you take a human body and you can dissect that. Fuck, you get down to one cell. It's all the same cell, whether it's your skin, your hair, your teeth, your eye, whatever, right? And you put all those together, well, the whole is certainly greater than the sum of its parts. You look at a car engine the same way, a bunch of steel bolts, rubber, oil, but what the beauty that it can make it. And so like your community is like that. Like the microcosm of your body or of a cell structure or whatever is the same as your community, is the same as your city, your world, your universe. And so all those things mimic each other. So it behooves me to take great care and concern and discipline with how I behave in that, how I treat my mind, what I input, and who I'm around. Because who I'm around is the water of the fishbowl that I'm drinking. And if I'm around some negative shit, that's gonna impact my life, you know? And I think that's the thing, is like, that's why I make like kind of that crass comment about philosophers or whatever, is because it's so important that I'm around beautiful people that are out doing things and that are trying, because there's so much to explore in this mystery of life, you know?
Honestly, if you're anything like me, like when I'm on a wavelength, I follow that, and it's easy for me to like move around. Like I can easily be pulled and moved. So if I'm around like quote unquote toxic people or people who are negative, like I'll fall into that vibe easily. And I know people who are stronger than me and like can do that, but it's so important for me, it's crucial for me to be around like movers and shakers and all that, because that way it keeps me motivated, it keeps me on the right path. And like you said, like I'm always thinking about who am I around right now, who is a little bit of a weight right now dragging me down to not be the best person I can be.
Sure. And I really like to monitor my mind in that too, because of course, if there's great people around, there's not so great people around, and so then you're cutting those people out. And the internet's a good thing to monitor my own mind, because it's the images that are echoing my own mind, my own consciousness a lot of time. Some negative, some horrific, some great, some beautiful, all of it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's important too that I get reminded of a lot of memes or whatever that are like, you know, especially the new year. And this new year, cut out all the bullshit from your life or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really trying to like watch my own mind and not be that dismissive towards other humans. And look at that, like I can still love that person even if they're on a different path and not doing maybe as positive as things as I need in my life. But I'm gonna love them from across the street. I'm just gonna be careful about my spatial time allotment to them, right? But I don't want to diminish them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I feel you there because it's like, you know, there are people who I love them to death and they're like family, but I can't mess with them for too long,
Yep.
you know. But I love them and I'm there to support them and all that. But if I fuck with them too long, I'll get dragged down, you know. And it's like, look, brother, I got you and all this, but like, you want to go to the bathroom and do some coke or whatever, like you go, and I love you just the same, but like I can't mess around with you.
And that person's, I mean, simply that person's drives and desires then are different than yours, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I look at that, like I've really been on this thing lately that, you know, like if you want to be a doctor and I want to be a lawyer, if you hang around me and I hang around you all the time, we'll get there. We're both driven, smart people. But it'll be at a different time frame than if you only hung out with doctors and I only hung out with lawyers.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Then I've got all the community of all these other lawyers that are getting all this different lawyer information. We're going to get there faster, be better, and be more interconnected, and vice versa with you with doctors, right? Than if a doctor's like, and that's just like a really basic way of looking at it. But if I'm not, if this guy, his desires are and drives are that next line of coke. Even though he's a lovely person, I grew up with him or whatever, that's a different drive and desire than I have. And so to align myself correctly, that's my job in life, you know, and everybody talks about how they're not lucky or how they're this or that. It's like, we've all really chosen that. And that my awareness has grown, and especially in this last year, it really shows, I'm seeing that more and more, how, you know, we're really choosing the life we have. A lot of times we don't think so because it's hard to get a breadth of a scope of our life of what that is, an overview, because we're right in it, you know? But I see it more and more, man.
Well, it's like, I'm about to contradict myself, but it's like, I feel very lucky because I get to listen to, like, you know, Pirate Life, and I get to learn from you and Keith, and like, I listen to all these people who have shown you and shown me, like, luck it's a thing, but it's also like, the harder you work, the more luck you're gonna find, you know? Like that Thomas Jefferson adage, it's just like, and you hear it growing up in the acting world and stuff like this, like, well, you know, this guy was lucky, he met so-and-so, who met so-and-so, and he got the role, and it's like, yeah, that's fine, but like, think about the amount of auditions that guy went on that put him in the place that met, like, that's fucking metal to the wall. Yeah, I mean, that is
here's the deal too, is like, you know, comparison is the death of joy, right? If I'm looking at how lucky you got, I'm fucked, right?
So
and there's nothing empowering about that. What is empowering is to go, what did he do to get into that spot to be prepared when that opportunity came? Because opportunity is passing us all every moment, you know, every moment. But some of us are more prepared than others.
Yeah.
And so until I could look at my own life, I could easily be a victim, right? There's no fucking victims in life unless I choose it. I could easily be a victim of that thinking and go, okay, you're just lucky, or you're just different, or you were in the right place at the right, or all these different things. I can have whatever reason that I'm not. Well, if my conversation and my narrative is always why I'm not, I'm never going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so in that way, when I started looking at it, I go, an opportunity came and went, somebody else got it, and I go, I wasn't prepared, and that guy was prepared. And I fucking was so ashamed, and it hit me so hard, I was like, I'll never not be prepared again.
My boss always says, she goes, if you like to sit in your own shit, you're gonna smell bad. You know, and it's like, there's so much truth to that, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, especially in fighting and acting and fucking anything, there's gonna be a Jenkins who like gets the promotion, and you're just sitting there like, fuck man, why not? What did I do? Why did I not? I had a better audition, that guy sucks, whatever. And it's just like, look, like, that's part of his journey, you know, he got that, you're gonna get something, and just keep your pace horses.
Well, and also, did you want that? If it wasn't right for you and they didn't really want you, did you want to force you? I want to be where I fit in seamlessly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and then I've got to believe that there's opulence, that there's not scarcity, that there is a place where I fit in seamlessly.
Yeah.
And if that thing wasn't right for me, then awesome. And the other thing is that goes back to comparison is fucking the beginning of the death of joy. Like I start comparing why this and why not me. Like then I'm gonna get so nervous. I'm gonna fucking degrade my own character to a point where I don't exist anymore. So when they're wanting Tait to show up, Tait won't be there.
He won't
You know what I mean?
exist.
I won't have that.
There's a pretty interesting book that I'm reading right now called Big Magic, and I don't know if anyone's read that, but it's about a bunch of different things. But the idea that creativity and these ideas are out there, and someone's going to take it, and if you don't take it and you're not ready for it, then someone else will. And she gives a bunch of really amazing. This is the woman, the author that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she gives a bunch of examples of like books that she started writing and then she put away and she didn't come back to the idea and the idea left. And so like the idea can come to you, you can make an agreement to do that idea and be inspired and be creative and then not capitalize on it, and that idea is going to move on to the person that's going to, and someone across the country in a totally different place, doesn't even know her, has never seen her notes, writes the same book and the same idea. And this like happens time and again with like in science, like multiple discovery, all that stuff. But it's like if you're not prepared and you don't make that agreement with the creative moment or whatever the idea is and move forward with it, then it's going to go to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's just all about like that, show up, be ready. And then if it isn't you and it moves on, cool. Be psyched that like it wasn't your project.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Like I love Jimi Hendrix, and they was talking about how much he like thought he sucked and wanted to abandon stuff. And going back to that like idea of family and all that, like he just had people around him who wouldn't let him quit.
Right.
And so he got through that like muck and the mud. And he like rocked through it, you know, and that's how the greatness came out. And it's like even
Well, how much did he have against him? He's playing a right-handed guitar, left-handed, upside down, right? Yeah, and he's black in America,
60s,
where they're hanging people from fucking trees in the South where he's from. Yeah, tell him.
And that was
tell
that.
him
Like,
he
he's
can't.
playing a new type of music. He will come out and start ripping, and people are like, what the fuck is this?
And you know what else he's doing that's terrifying to America? Fucking white women. that whole thing about opportunity and all that kind of stuff. This is one of the best things I've heard recently about it. I get inspired all over, but this is great.
Here's a thought. The same wind blows on all of us. The wind of opportunity, the wind of disaster, the wind when it's favorable, and the wind when it's not favorable. However, the wind doesn't determine the destination of the sailboat. It's the set of the sail. Start thinking about how you set your sail.
Who is that?
That's Ruben Rivera.
Oh shit!
And
Ruben.
and so like that, but that kind of an idea,
man,
right?
yeah.
We all have the same. We're all in the same fucking fishbowl. Like how are you gonna fucking direct yourself?
Yeah.
How am I gonna discipline myself, my sails as it were, to get to a position where I'm thinking of where I want to be? I mean, it's like that's. You know, you've got to be proactive and you've got to look into the future a little bit. It's really asking you to do that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my favorite deals there that I kind of live by is Book of Five Rings. It's called Crossing of the Ford. A lot of people talk about this. You know, Sasha, you know Book of Five Rings?
I feel like I have it right now.
It's a strategy.
He's a bad motherfucker that went, and when he went to test people and go from jiu-jitsu school to jiu-jitsu school and see who could choke, he was doing that except with a sword where the stakes and consequences were you're dead.
Jesus
and so
Christ.
he had fucking hundreds of fights where he was the winner and kept going, and he would write a diary.
And retired undefeated, and he went up to a cave.
Book of Five Rings.
He went to a cave, wrote the Book of Five Rings, and then killed himself shortly after.
Whoa.
The Japanese
I
people.
want to go to a
were
cave
intense.
and write some shit.
Yeah.
That's how you make it.
That's really caveman.
Caveman. So crossing the ford is like you're gonna cross that ford of the water, and you take your boat. And you wait until the wind is just perfect to cross. You wait till the tide is just right. You wait till all the conditions, everything's just perfect for you to sail across this water. And then so you set sail and you're heading across, and all the planning, everything's working. You get halfway there, and all of a sudden a storm breaks out, the wind changes, and all chaos occurs. So what do? You pull down the sail, you bring out your oars, and you start paddling.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. It's this podcast I always use as an example. When I first got to do Long Citizen, I was like, look, like, I have nothing to say, but I know a shit ton of people who have learnings. So let's like give them, you know, and I was putting it out. I waited so fucking long before I was able to drop it. And then I realized it was like, I kept waiting for the wind to get perfect.
Yeah.
And finally someone was like, yo, you're gonna be waiting till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
you're
a
gonna be.
fabulous TED talk about that called,
Yeah.
I think it's like, You're Never Ready.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's 5 minutes, and you will 100% be like, okay, yeah. Nothing's
you
ever
just,
perfect.
like,
Nothing's ever the
you
right
gotta
time.
And I like, when I first did it, like this wasn't like a Lululemon thing. This was like my thing, and I can't go back and listen to the early ones because it was so fucking not me. It was like, hey, well, we're here, you know. It's like I felt like I had to be that person, you know. But and I was actually talking to dudes the other day. I was like, I feel like I gotta lead them. Tony, you heading out? All right, good to see you.
I can't listen or watch anything I've ever done. Any fights, any
It's
podcasts.
fucking brutal.
TV
I know
shows.
actors too that like I love watching myself on TV. I'm like, you need to fucking get it. Oh god, I can do it.
There's some narcissism there.
I'm telling you, like the first time you see yourself on TV, you're like, okay, this is
It's also
cool,
though
but,
part of it. I feel like it's a. I get embarrassed. Like it's like part of me. I don't want to own it. It's not narcissism in a way. It's almost like it's narcissism me not watching it.
Yeah.
Because I think about myself in a certain way, and I don't want to see myself as I am on that television show maybe or something. I don't know, but there's something. It's not like through a higher calling that I'm not listening or watching. It's because I'm a little embarrassed, man.
Yeah, well, it's all like I think there's two things
you know?
going on. It's like you see yourself bullshitting a little bit, which is like when you go buy a car or something and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? But there's also like, for me at least, when I watch myself, it's like a quarterback watching game film. I fucked up here, I got it better here, and so it becomes like
Yeah, same.
yeah, you know, you become you're watching as an artist, and like I can be better there. Yeah,
I can't enjoy it.
Exactly. I was like Keith and I were talking about this on the way up to the elevator. It's like when you're watching shit like this go down, it's like you no longer enjoy watching movies. You just sit there and you're like, okay, this person, that person, what are they doing? How are they doing that? What did they do? Is that a good, you know? And it just becomes an ordeal to watch anything.
I heard an interesting thing once. I don't know if it's true or not, but I like the sound of it. The guy, I don't know his name, is the guy that played Rick on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I guess
Love him.
Yeah, he's great, right? I guess he's never watched himself on Walking Dead.
That's a tragedy. He's never watched Walking Dead.
No, he can't do it, and he just lets his wife watches all the scenes and kind of gives him a cues here and there. But so like, he is so selfless in doing what he does. That
Rebecca Ferguson from Mission Impossible doesn't watch herself. She's
Really?
she's a fantastic actress, and she can't.
I have a reel. I've never sent it out just because every time I watch it, I'm like, this is dog shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's nice enough to put stuff together for me. I'm like, oh.
You can have it. Yeah, it's. I got a movie I worked on a couple months ago. It's about to come out. And it's like, hey man, I'd love to have you at the premiere, and I'd love to get it. I have to go, but I was like, I might step out, you know, and.
You'll
Gotta
be
go.
sitting
It's
there
so
and you'll be
much
hoping
fun.
I hope nobody notices that's me.
Oh my
And everyone
god.
there is in the same boat though.
Guys, this is Pete, by the way.
What's up,
Hey,
Pete? How you doing, buddy?
Tait, Lacey,
how loud I
Keith.
could get.
Yeah, you can be loud. I mean, fuck it.
that's really cool in a way, though. So,
Are we gonna see you tomorrow?
Again, about the journey, how like next month you'll be a lot better than you are this month, and next year you'll be so much better than you are this year. And looking back at stuff you did 2 years ago, you're so much better than that.
Yeah, it's and that those lows are so important. I think it's just like the idea of like I think about last year and I was going through some shit and not being the best person I could be, hurting people I loved and all this for my own gain and one of my best friends, known forever, 20-some years plus, was just like, hey man, like, I love you to death, but you're acting like dog shit right now. And thank God I had those kind of people in my life who are willing to look past that, you know, and move to New York because I was going to get my shit straight. And I fortunately had people that loved me that I could rely on and it got me through some shit. And yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, you know, you talk about the journey and everyone has different lows and everyone has different highs and everyone has a different path, but it's you know,
It's all about experiencing that path.
yeah, I'm so grateful for that shitty Jamie though. I'm so grateful for him because he taught me so much.
Right.
He taught me every time I'm about to make a decision, I think like, is this something he would have done? You know, and I mean, there's quote unquote worse people, there's murderers, rapists and all that, but like, I know I wasn't acting the best I could. And so now every time I make a decision, it's would I have done this a year ago? You know, would I have supported this person a year ago? And if I say no, then I know I'm in the right step. I know I'm stepping in the right direction. I'm not putting myself first anymore. I'm putting the people ahead of me first. I'm putting my family around me, and without fail, they'll come back for you.
Yeah.
You know. if you're the last soldier to cross the line, without fail, they're coming back for you. And so just for me, like my big learning was stop worrying about yourself. Stop. You know, and I was 22, I was a fucking idiot. I always joke like my senior year of college, I got like the lead in a bunch of plays and stuff, and you know, it's easy to be hot shit when you're a straight guy in a theater school, you know, and it's like you're getting all the roles and all this, and then I walked out into the real world and someone didn't cast me, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened, you know? And like it just took me a minute to get humble and find the right people, and you know, and I'm so grateful for that experience. Like that, you know, we talked about a lot on this, the journey. It's crazy what life can do.
You have a pretty awesome community here. I was like, this whole New York trip was like me being super psyched because I came about a month ago and meeting all of you guys and like around the hub and around.
You caught us on a party day too,
Oh my
which
God,
is huge.
that was the best weekend of all time, and it was just like the synergy that was happening between that and like other people I knew here and everything, and it
That was
just
a
all
funny
played out.
story.
It was great.
Lacey Instagrammed a picture of me too, and someone wrote in the comments, "Is that Drake?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, it's Drake!" Oh,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Who did say that? I remember that. That was
so
in
is
the
that
bench
Drake?
shop. Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck yeah, it is."
Yes, it is.
It's a good angle.
It was amazing.
Great angle.
That was a good picture.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Dunian will know
Dunian
exactly.
knows.
Yeah, he probably knows the guy's home address. Little creep.
Yeah. If you need anything Googled or researched ever, Stephen Dunian.
There's a dude-
You can
there's a
find him
dude
at
that's-
S-Dudes on Instagram.
Yeah,
He'll find it
ask
for you.
dudes. He'll get you.
Dude, I'm getting a new
He
shell.
never posts shit, but he watches
He
everything.
knows
Dude,
all about it.
I'm getting a new shell for skiing, and I found one. It was like $700. I was like
Oh,
texting
dude's found you a
Steve, and
better deal.
yeah, dude's like, "Here, just for $350."
I was like, yeah, in between me buying whiskey for $300
Yeah,
and selling
he
it
has
for
this
$1,200,
lazy liquor
here's
thing.
what also I'll do. I also got, if you want Modal underwear, I have that. I can get 3 packs for $12 instead of 42.
He's like,
He's a trip.
He comes to New Mexico. We made him come to New Mexico and hang out in the warehouse for a while. And he's living at Tate's house, and he's pissed one day because he's bought all this shit on the Lulu sale. You guys might be interested in knowing that he's doing this. And then he's reselling it on eBay at a profit, and something happened where like someone stole the package or something from like Tate's doorway. And so then he's already sold it. So now he's got to like refund to this chick and like figure out the thing. And it was
All
only on the
super
sale.
sketchy
And I'm
shit.
like,
Super
wait a
sketchy.
minute, like how are you doing this? And he's got like 5 different deals going on. And yeah, I mean it's dudes. And what's your liquor thing? What's the bottle that you always look
bought a
for?
bottle of
I'm not gonna
liquor
tell people
for-
because they'll try to do this, but
For $300 and
buys a bottle for $300 and sells it for how much?
$2,700.
$2,700.
So in other words,
Christmas.
on eBay, if you see S dudes, you're getting fucked over.
Look, well, no, but he just like finds the
I was
best
on
stuff.
Etsy.
He's for
It's
sure.
on Etsy. It's on
He's got
Etsy.
multiple
He's for sure
accounts.
paying taxes on that.
Yeah, definitely. Paying straight cash, I'll be honest about it. Guys, I cannot thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you,
so
man.
much for
Thank
this.
you, man.
Yeah,
This is
check
a
them out.
great time.
Keith Jardine, Lacey Mackey, Mac Attack, which I now call. I
Oh,
like
right, here
refer
we
to you
go.
as Mac Attack.
Mac Attack.
So people who don't even know you, they're like, who the fuck is
Who's
Mac
Mac
Attack?
Attack?
You talking about yourself with the third person gender neutral.
That's way better than Lacey Candies, which is what they used to call me in elementary school.
Oh,
so
shit.
We'll go with Mac
Were you a nerd in elementary school? We all were.
Yeah, kind of.
I was.
Yeah, I got beat up a lot. I was the blonde kid in New Mexico, so, or white kid.
The
So
area
it was
in New
like,
Mexico
yeah.
walking around.
Yeah, in India.
That's awesome. And of course, Mr. Tait Fletcher, beard and all, here to chill. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, check it out. Talk to you guys later.
Do we fill up your hard drive?
Guys, how do we feel?
Good,
That was
Great.
fucking fun.
Good.
Thank you so much.
So is Jody here or is she in Albuquerque?
Albuquerque.
She is, okay.
Oh, what did you guys plan for the rest of the night?
That was it.